Scarlet Moon Creations, and I am back finally with a new video. This is a tag video, and before I get into the tag, the reason I decided to do this. Are you serious? Before I get into that, it is now warm weather. Too warm to keep my window closed. I'm trying to do this early enough in the morning that there's not too much noise outside, but if you hear cars passing or honking or random talking or not alarms, but sirens in the background, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to edit as much of that out as I can, but there we have it. So yes, the reason I'm doing this video, I've been in a video making slump, and just some things kind of have made it more difficult for me to make videos now. My headspace, though, but also technical issues, which have, compounded me just not wanting to make the videos. But this tag sounds fun and interesting, and I thought, why not? Like, I would want to do it anyway, so I'm going to. So the tag is Get to Know Your Witches. Hashtag Get to Know Your Witches. It's by Little Cosmic Owl. I saw the original video that they posted when they created the tag in the Pagan YouTubers Facebook group, and I saw a couple of people respond, and I was like, okay, so other people think this is interesting, so I might do it. And then recently I watched, who did I watch do this? I watched Mnomquah, which was hilarious and so very Capricorn of her. So I was like, I definitely have to do it now. I feel like half her answers were mine. But also I watched a couple of others, and yeah, so let's get into it. This is a 15 question video to get to know the witch behind the camera, and I'm going to jump in because otherwise this might be rather long. So first question, I have them written here in my bullet journal, my book of shadows, my witchy buju. Question number 1, does your sun sign portray you correctly? If not, do your other planetary signs? I'm a Scorpio. Yes and no, of course. For anyone who knows more about astrology than just horoscopes or your sun signs, you have all 12 zodiac signs have an influence on everyone's life and all of the planets, what signs and houses they're in. So that's where the individual differences start showing up. It's our placements, planetary signs and houses. And the thing is, I am a sun sign Scorpio, but I have 4 other planets in Scorpio, so I think I'm pretty strongly Scorpio. I used to hate being Scorpio because the average person on the street's idea of Scorpio is this like intense sexual being, and that's it. And I don't like being dismissed that way, and I don't like being pigeonholed that way. I don't think anyone likes being pigeonholed. I don't like being pigeonholed in other ways as well, but yeah, let's just say I grew up in a time of, well, this is not odd, but things like toxic masculinity and things like grown-ass men talking to underage girls on the street. asking them things like what's your sign, or hearing about it, and assuming things from children. And even if it's not grown-ass men, it's guys I went to school with being taught these things by older guys, or older women, to be perfectly honest, and assuming a lot. And I got tired of putting people in their place. So I didn't like being a Scorpio, but I very much am. First of all, I'm a witch. Like, I think that's the perfect example. I love stuff like astrology and delving into the unknown, doing shadow work. I don't love it, but I enjoy coming out of the other side of it. I like a lot of esoteric things, and to be perfectly honest, most people are pretty obvious. I do have a strong emotional personality. I can be very intense, and I'm okay with that. A lot of people's bullshit is pretty obvious, and even when it's not bullshit, it's obvious. I can be petty as hell, but most of the time I don't give a shit. So yeah, let's not dwell on this any longer. But yeah, I'm a Scorpio. I feel it fits. My rising sign is Gemini. That fits me as well as does being an Aquarius moon. I feel like there's a really good synergy for the most part with all three of those, and with most of my other planetary placements and signs. So they just kind of amplified various aspects of the Scorpio to me. So yeah, it portrays me correctly. What songs bring you the most magical vibes? We ain't got all day for this. I am planning on having a video continuing my Witchy History series. Music will be in there, and I did do a video, I forget what it's called. Oh, music for the YouTube Pagans ABCs challenge. So check that video out. I talk a lot about music. So I'm just gonna go with one song here because it's the one that comes to mind first right now in this time of my life. The Skyboat song from the Outlander soundtrack, particularly the first version from the first 2 seasons while they were in Scotland. It's a song by Bear McCreary, and it's sung by Raya Yarbrough, and it's just so magical. If you have watched Outlander, it's also played during the intro, but as well as the first episode where Claire goes through the standing stones. Before that, there's a whole ritual by the local women, and it's just a really magical scene, and the song is perfect, and I'm just like automatically feeling it's time to be magical or in ritual with that song. So next up, which one of your deities, guides, ancestors is most sarcastic with you, or which of your tarot or oracle decks? I was gonna say none. I'm a pretty sarcastic person myself. Whether or not it's a defense mechanism is a whole other question, but generally I'm the most sarcastic person in my pagan witchy guide relationships. But Toth is more of a guide to me than a deity, though loosely based on the Egyptian god, but I am not, that's not my path, so I'm not in Comedicism, but very, very loosely based. That's why I'm like more of a guide. And for me, he is the analytical, logical, airy part of me. And honestly, it's that is the very sarcastic part. Like, obviously. So I feel like I'm trying to be sarcastic right now, but there's really no need. Um, anyway, but yeah. And I have not interacted with him very much lately. That does not mean sarcasm has not been flowing through my veins. But yeah, he's kind of a poker and a fuck are you doing? So yeah, just that. Oracle tarot decks, not really. In that sense, I am definitely the more sarcastic one. I have very blunt decks, but yeah, minus the sarcasm. Uh, Biggest witchy mess up or misinterpretation. So I technically have two. The first, and this is just a really embarrassing situation to me. It's still with me. Very early on, I was studying online with a very good course, and we were told to pick a pagan or path witchcraft tradition to focus in on in studying and learn in depth, and I did. And unfortunately, I had a foundational mistake, assumption. I made an assumption about them based on how the example. So, like, I was given some examples, like, oh, the Zayax Wicca tradition, or Druidry, or the fairy tradition. And I picked the fairy tradition, which is a witchcraft tradition, but I assumed that it was Wicca, and I don't remember exactly why, but I did a research paper on the fairy tradition, and my research wasn't wrong. It was just that the whole time I was like, this is Wicca, Wiccan tradition, and there are various Wiccan traditions, so that's not where that came from. But I was in another completely different online group, and I saw someone had asked about the fairy tradition, and I just gave like a really quick blurb because I was like, oh, I had done all this research and I put it down. And actually, in my whole paper, it doesn't say that it's a Wiccan tradition. It's just like in my mind, like, people know that, and if they don't, whatever. And I was like, yeah, so fairy is a Wiccan tradition, blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. Here's this awesome thing that I just did, all about it, and like I have all these sources. And then like several people were like, it's not a Wiccan tradition. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yes, it is. And that was embarrassing because I had someone like really tear into me after. I was like, no, yeah, it is. I wasn't like nasty, but I might have been a little bit know-it-all. And I was like, yeah, no, I did all of this. I went to their website, blah, 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 and or websites, various sources, and this person really tore me a new one. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I hate when you newbies come in here and you think you know everything and blah, 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 blah. And it was really nasty. I got really nasty from there, and I never went back to that forum. So yeah, I did go back and check again, and nothing on their websites, nothing in my sources said it was a Wiccan tradition, and I just like made this assumption. I still am very interested in the fairy tradition. Maybe one day. It's pretty intense, but I'm a Scorpio. I'm intense. So, yeah, that was my biggest, to me, witchy mess up or misinterpretation. Um, the other is I am still kind of dealing with. I often feel like you see those memes or like a lot of these supportive things online where people are like trying to help people get past certain things in their lives, and I always feel like I'm the opposite of whatever. So in this particular case, um, a lot of newer witches are often told, um, you know, to, or not even, just in religion in general, like, you need to not be dependent on magic or the craft or your deities or whatever. You need to do the things, right? And like mundane as well to support. Like, don't do a ritual to get a new job and then not put out applications. Like, that doesn't work. For example, and that's not how the world works, let alone the magical one. Like, you gotta help the universe help you. God helps those that helps themselves. If you're a Christian, you definitely have heard that. For me, my problem is kind of the opposite. I am always so worried about being dependent on witchcraft, on magic, on my cards, on astrology, or anything like that. I often don't use them because I'm like, oh, there's still some mundane route I can go by. Or I have not worked hard enough before I can ask for this outside help. This is kind of a theme throughout my life. It's not just spiritually with witchcraft or magic. So it's a thing I gotta work on. I know it's a weird misinterpretation, but it's not going away. So yeah, just a little oversharing there. Next question. Would you write a book on your craft spirituality? Why? If you already have, what were your challenges? Off the top of my head, I want to say no, but then I realized I kind of am. um, kind of. I, like, if I ever write an official book, really, it would be like a memoir type of thing. Don't know how I really feel about that, honestly. Um, Probably not for publishing. However, I'm slowly, very, very, very slowly, because this was not a goal, and I know it's going to be a book, probably an ebook, because I have so much information to share, and I didn't realize that going in. I was thinking like a blog post or video notes, and it's become a lot about bath magic as Scarlet Moon Creations, as which it's something that I just kind of really drifted to and messed with very surprisingly, and I've amassed all of this information and practice and enjoyment that I want to share. It would help support and promote my business, but also I'm like, wow, this is a lot. I wrote a bunch last year, and that was just like on a historical standpoint, And that was just dipping my toe into the water. So I'm like, shit, this is gonna be a book. Um, so yeah, that's that. Don't like anticipate because I'm nowhere near done. Don't know when that's gonna happen, but yeah. If someone wanted to summon you to their circle, what 5 items would they need? I kind of like pre-wrote some of my answers, and I skipped this question by accident, and I needed to think about it ahead of time. So, alright, first of all, I'm not summoned. Do not summon me. You can't do it. If you would like to invite me to your circle, to your ritual, if you would like me to lend my powers to you, then I might, depending on my mood, if I'm interested in being around people, um, be willing to be to listen to the invitation to see what you got going on, because I will not be summoned. You're not gonna yank me into your circle. That's not a thing that I do. I don't go when called just because there's nice things there, um, or anything else. So I might be inclined to show up if I am nicely invited somewhere. If these 5 things are included: good food, like good flavorful food, Indian or Thai food, Spanish food, because you know that's the food of my soul, of my heritage. Um, like give me some pernil, arroz and gandules, and have it done right, and I will be there. I sound like a college student. I've never let that go. Like, good free food, I'm there. Uh, Jewel tone colors. I like color. Look at my red walls here. So yeah, it could be painted walls, tapestries, sheets, I don't know, whatever have you, mood lighting, as long as it's not like super intensely bright, like fluorescent. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. And like strobe, no. Uh, Sounds like singing bowls or tuning forks. K-pop, I'm down, especially if it's like bouncy, like Oh My Girl, coloring book. Or very like woman empowered, like Beyonce, or I forget the name of the song right now, but anyway, or the Skybolt song by Mercury. I will be more inclined to show up if that is playing. Um, let's see, soft pillows, like blankets and that kind of thing, because I'm not going to be standing the whole time. I would like to sit or recline, and soft, comfy, cushiony surfaces are a must. If you have books, I'll probably show up for that too. So I don't know, I've probably gone over 5, but like I was thinking categories because I'm a very sensual person. And I tried to pick stuff for each of the 5 senses. So seeing, tasting, smelling. Oh, I forgot smelling. Vanilla, or like what is it? What is it? Black pepper essential oil. They get me in the gut and they pull me in. That's just a few. So yeah, taste, touch, smell, hear, see, like get my senses, and I'm there. Maybe if I feel like it, if I'm not on an introverted date, dear. And if you ask nicely. So, next question. If you were a ghost, what place would you haunt? Like, okay, so I don't really believe in ghosts per se. If I'm going to be a non-corporeal being and hanging out in one place, that's one thing, as long as I'm not suffering, and I don't really want to be watching other people live joyous lives and being envious. So there's that. Um, Muir Woods, which is part of the overall redwood forest in Northern California. That was a spiritual experience, and involved all of my senses, and I was there for a very, very, very short time, and I would love to hang out there. Um, or I was thinking like a beautifully appointed large open space. Um, I can't really describe it in detail. I don't want gaudy, but like honestly, opera houses I've found really fit that. The acoustics, I'm not a huge opera fan, by the way, not at all, but the spaces, the rooms where they are performed, um, just are all the ones that I've seen in person or online have all been amazing, and I just like a feast for the eyes. And I guess not just opera houses, like music halls, Radio City, Lincoln Center, just those kind of places. So yeah, that's where I'd hang out if I was a non-corporeal being, just chilling with no issues. Uh, do I have superstitions? No. I think the only one I kind of sort of maybe have, and I don't think this counts because that is a real concern, walking under ladders. And not just, that's just like, why would you do that? That's asking for an accident to happen. A regular, like, a ladder, like the average one the person has in their home, like 7 foot. I am 5'10", 5'11", and they have those little things in the middle. I forget what it's called, but it's so you can open and close it easily. That's not really safe for me to walk under, so why would I do that? Second, this happens on like the streets in the city, taller ladders, like professionals, construction people putting up signs or other things, and they like lean their tall ass ladders on the side of a building, and I'm just like, walking on the hills is asking for an accident. So no, I don't know exactly why that's sort of considered a superstition. I'm like, but I don't want things to fall on me. I don't want to accidentally knock them over. So I don't walk under them. There you go. So no, I don't have any superstitions. If you could possess any fantasy magic, what would your power be? Teleportation. I enjoy travel, but I don't. I enjoy travel when I'm comfortable physically and we take our time and the journey is interesting. I do not enjoy travel when I'm stuck in a box with or a tube with a bunch of other people and not exactly able to stand comfortably, or even like on planes, even in first class, which I've only experienced once. It's not like I can't really get comfortable. So teleportation. Also, I have an issue with getting places on time sometimes. So travel is kind of stressful for me. So let me just teleport there and I'll be happy. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What is something random on your altar? All right, I'll go with the thing that I chose. Uh, this little guy, if I can get a close up and have it, sorry for my finger. And now the bouncing. Come on, focus. Focus. Alright, it doesn't want to focus on it. But, so this little guy thing is a seed pod. When I got it, I didn't know what it was because my friend didn't know what it was. We used it in a ritual as a thought form slash just magical vessel holder thing, and it was a great ritual, and so I have it. It has purpose on my altar, but one, I somewhat forgot exactly what its purpose is, and two, we didn't know exactly what these were. So if you live I'm just gonna say in New York State, if you've been around the Hudson River, you've definitely seen these, especially if you live upstate. And yes, I'm saying upstate while living in New York City, so everyone's upstate. But these are, we found out, seed pods from water caltrope, and there are apparently tons of them in the Hudson River upstate. I guess they get removed by the time they get to the city because I'd never seen one before. And apparently the water caltrope is an invasive species, so that explains why, like, the city's like, no, we don't want these shits in our very delicate Hudson River. No, it's not delicate, but we're trying to clean it up and keep it clean, and that is not good. But yeah, so that's a random thing. I also have, like, my Stedler's Tri Plus fine liners, Sharpie, and a bunch of other things. But yeah, so if one of the YouTubers you watched was a genie, they could grant you 3 wishes, who would it be and what would you ask for? Can't be for more wishes. That question was way more involved. I just, like, pared it down to what applies for me. I can't think of one YouTuber what I would ask 3 wishes from, so I'm just gonna do what I want, and 3 YouTubers, one wish each. One wish each. From Brittany the Bibliophile, I do like booktube videos. I would ask her to grant me the power to do my makeup as well as she does and enjoy it. Her makeup I like. I don't want to do my makeup the way she does hers because we're 2 different looking people, but at least I like the style and the comfortability. And I've seen enough of her makeup and her various levels of difficulty, I guess, that I like the way she does it, and she gets enjoyment out of it. I don't hate doing makeup, but I don't like doing it very often, and I don't know very much. So, yeah, random, but I kind of think of it as coloring. And also, it's a way to, in my opinion, become someone else or become a different part of yourself. And that's fun sometimes, like putting on a mask. But not. Anyway, next up, Jessica, the Story Witch. I would like her to grant me the ability to have as much confidence in my craft as she does in hers. I know that is a thing that will come with more time. I am not brand new, but I'm not a wise old crone. Neither is Jessica. I'm not like saying she's old or anything. Jessica, you are not old, but definitely down to earth wise. So yeah, I think this is something that will come with time, but I'd like to speed that up a little bit. Thanks. Lastly, this is technically not a YouTuber, but Jungkook from BTS. He does these occasional videos. He's a K-pop star who somehow finds time to make, film and edit his own videos. Um, the GCF series, they are vlogs, and GCF stands for Golden Closet Films, which is his own self-created video editing production house. And it's just him, himself, and him. And I am in awe of his skills. I would love for him to grant me the power to have those kind of editing skills, even though he's pretty young and not an expert. I would like to be at his level. So, Jungkook, if you can do that for me, I would love you even more than I already do. Thanks. Next question. We're up to 13, so we're almost done, guys. If you can instantly become an expert in any part of your craft, spirituality, what would it be? Astrology. Specifically astrology. I love learning it. I don't want to skip the process, but it's a lot. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot to try to remember. um, and this is not my main focus in life, so learning is a slow going thing. So I would like to kind of speed up the learning process. And I know I'll probably never be an expert, but knowing more would be great. Okay, so next question. When you die, what do you think will happen to you or your soul? Nothing. I am so not concerned with the next life. It's unbelievable. The next life. That what happens after you die. I don't really care. Like, that's then. Let's work on now. Um, I don't think there is a specific place that we go and our souls hang out, whatever that we want to call that place. Um, I guess technically I'm supposed to believe in the Summerland, and here's the thing with belief for me. Like, I believe that you believe, and I also believe that belief kind of, in many cases, is creates things. If enough people believe, or enough people believe strongly enough, then that will is created. Like, that is like the foundation of magic, and I believe in magic as a creation thing, a thing that creates. I also believe in energy and energy exchanges, and this is where we go into like science and how like nothing ever like completely disappears. We become like our physical bodies obviously become one with the earth, they break down, and that kind of thing, except for plastic apparently. I I believe in a soul. It's our energy center, or maybe the biggest energy center, or it's multiple energy centers. I'm not sure exactly what I believe as far as that specific portion of things go. So what happens to your soul when you die? Reincarnation sounds nice. I like it. What kind of reincarnation? I don't know. I don't really believe in the fact that, in the idea, I should say, that we are here learning lessons, or like that's our purpose, to learn lessons, and no. So I definitely don't really subscribe to the idea of, oh, if we don't learn certain lessons, we're reincarnated back again to learn them until we learn all the lessons we're here to learn. No. So Like, you can be reincarnated, I guess, but as anything, and I was low-key animist, so literally as anything, anything living, which is pretty much everything on this planet, and in the solar system, our universe, even rocks. So I don't know, and I don't particularly care. I feel like that is something for that when it happens. There's so much to be thinking about, to be concerned about, to be focused on, to enjoy or not, here and now, that that's where my focus is, in this life, not after death. So yeah, my non-answer. Where do you see yourself spiritually in the next 5 years? I don't know. More me. More me. I hope to be practicing more regularly, more openly magic. I hope to be more comfortable being spiritually me. I am not in the broom closet, like, at all. Oh, shoot. I missed a question, and I totally didn't realize it till now. Number 8 was, what is the funniest way someone has reacted to finding out you were a witch? I don't really have much of an answer for that. Probably why I didn't realize I skipped it. I'm not in the broom closet, but I am a relatively private person. So I don't go around talking about it to random people. My dad's reaction, this wasn't me saying I am a witch, but I'm going to study to learn about witchcraft and, like, telling my parents. I was worried because all over the internet, it's like people are not accepting, or people are in the broom closet for this, that, and the other. And I like the broom closet, it's cute. But just the phrase meaning. And so I was worried. I'm like, is this gonna be the time when I find out my parents are intolerant? And they were just like, I. My dad was like, once I explained some of the reasons why, he was like, why not Buddhism? And I'm always just like, why did you pull out Buddhism of all things? So yeah, that's the funniest reaction. So, practicing magic more regularly, I think is the biggest thing for me. I mentioned I would like Jessica to give me the power, if she were a genie, to be more confident in my craft. I mentioned my whole misinterpretation of not doing magic or practicing my craft unless I've done all the mundane things first, and I'm always thinking, oh, there's some more mundane things I can do first. So, like, that, like, adds up to this. I would like to kind of get away from that. I think being more me, that is the basis of at least my spiritual practice, which are not, just being more comfortable myself, being more me is the goal, is the purpose. And if that means, like, skipping down the street here in the ghetto with flowers in my hair and, yeah, glitter on my eyelashes, then I'm good with that. So, lastly, I'd like to tag a few people. This is not required. If you are not tagged, feel free to do this video. I will totally watch. I've watched a bunch of these already. It's very interesting. The little cosmic owl, thank you so much for creating this tag. It's really awesome. A lot of the questions kind of build up on each other. Like, I just mentioned, and it was very cleverly done. This was fun but also thought-provoking, which I like. So yeah, even if you're not tagged, go ahead and do a video response to this. I linked Little Cosmic Owl's original video below. I also I'll link two of the ones I watched that I mentioned earlier. I forgot their names already, but I'm tagging Rhiannon from Crescent Moon Reams, Thorn Mooney. I know this is not your usual type of video, but my first thought was she's written a book, and recently, and I would like your traditional witchcraft, but also slightly more serious focused channel to do this tag. Katie Flowers, who occasionally does tags, tagging you. I think you'd be interested. Bahati Life, who did not do anything like this at all, but I think your perspective would add something interesting to the community. And Jessica the Story Witch, because you're awesome and why not. I think you've seen the original video already. You might be planning to do the tag, so get on that. And lastly, also Bookish Pisces, who I also think would add something interesting to the conversation. I tried to pick a bunch of people who are who don't normally do these types of tags, and also are diverse in their witchcraft and videos on YouTube. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. If you do a video response to it, let me know. I would love to watch it. And you can find Scarlet Moon Creations by Bath Magic, Divination and Journaling for self-care, Etsy shop in the description down below. You can get readings from me, magical baths, and more. So enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next video soon.